Hello, everybody. Welcome to my 50th episode of the Misadventures in Organizational Misalignment podcast. Part of me can't believe that it got there already. 50 episodes. I've had so much fun, both discussing various issues around organizational alignment and talking to so many high quality people about the different issues and opportunities they see in helping leaders drive aligned leadership. It's been such a marvelous ride. I'd love to be able to go and recap a little bit about some of the episodes that we had, and maybe for our newer subscribers, that might go and inspire you to be able to go and take a listen to some of those and see if you might be able to get some nuggets that might help you in your practice of aligned leadership. But first, I'd like to ask you a favor. I'd love for you to share this podcast with some of your friends, your networking colleagues. I'd love for you to be able to go and write something on LinkedIn or Twitter or send an email. And if you enjoy this podcast, let other people know. If you think that they'd get value in even one episode, please share it with them and give them the opportunity to be able to choose if they want to take some time. I'd love to be able to get more and more people subscribing in, listening, providing some feedback, and throwing out some questions. This journey began by defining the pillars of organizational alignment: mission and vision, communication, creativity, best practices, empowerment, accountability, teamwork, leadership, and development. We got in a little bit into each one and asked some questions of you to help you understand what is the common or current practice in your organization around that specific pillar. Nice base understanding of what organizational alignment looks like, how it compares to employee engagement, which we've had multiple episodes talking about the differences between employee engagement and alignment, basically employee engagement plus purpose, and the aspect of how statistically we can go and measure correlations between differences and changes in alignment in any of the pillars with the metrics that matter to you. So you can go and see, hey, if we go and do these certain things within the pillars of alignment, we can have a direct impact on the operational metrics that we look at on a regular basis to determine whether or not we're successful. We've also had some stunning, marvelously intelligent, compassionate, and thoughtful individuals here on the podcast. From teammate and friend John Banovitz, the CTO at 3M, talking about the connection with team sports, aligned organizations there, and how it's helped both of us in our careers, to John Mulligan, the Chief Operating Officer over at Target Corporation. What a marvelous conversation with him, especially around the types of preparations that they've taken on in the last 5 years that have helped them help us during this time of COVID. And how if COVID had come a couple years earlier, they wouldn't even have been close to being able to serve their mission the way that they currently are. We talked with Danita Bai of Sales Growth Specialists and talking about how accountability is an act of love and how she works with sales leaders and business leaders to be able to go and understand how to align sales teams to mission and vision. Glenn Gunderson, the Chief Executive Officer of the YMCA Twin Cities, talking about the work that they've done in a COVID environment with the YMCA and how to be able to go and maintain their mission in spite of clubs being closed, how they outreach to senior citizens and their communities in need, and how diversity, equity, and inclusion has become so central a part of their fabric to be able to go and serve the changing demographics here in the state of Minnesota. We've, along those lines, taken some deep looks into issues that are going on in our society and connecting it to organizational alignment. The first one, shortly after George Floyd's killing. Examining how police brutality and racism is fundamentally contrary to the mission of our United States of America, that all are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Along those lines, we also had a marvelous conversation with Beth Zemsky, intercultural organizational development consultant, talking about how diversity, equity, and inclusion needs to be at the core of the mission of an organization. That the benefits of bringing a more diverse, which is counting the people, inclusive, people count, and equitable, outcomes count, specifically ties to greater performance in organizations. Bringing those different perspectives, valuing each individual in the organization for the experience and perspective that they happen to have, can only bring positive outcomes to organizations that weave it as part of their mission and vision. Now, we've also taken a look at some other types of topical different issues, from looking at the Super Bowl and how organizational alignment, not only on the field within the different structures of the offense and defense, say the offensive line, the wide receivers, quarterback, but the entire organization, and how that led to Kansas City and Tampa Bay being in the Super Bowl. And then following that up with how the creativity and the willingness for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make mistakes in the first 12 weeks of the season enabled them to be able to figure out what worked best for them, and allowed them to be able to go to a 7-0 record subsequently and led them to a Super Bowl. We've also taken a look at the Texas blackouts due to the ice storms and the lack of regulation and bureaucracy to be able to go and protect critical infrastructure, and how you as a leader in your organization can go and look at bureaucracy and regulation in a different light, in a way to help drive adherence and success in mission and vision, not just for risk management, and to be able to keep people's jobs. So over these 50 episodes, we've gone into a wide range of different topics from different perspectives in different worlds, all in the hopes that those little nuances, the little uniqueness in those discussions may ring for you as you go and look at your organization and how you can go and implement some little tweaks or maybe some big changes to be able to go and drive that alignment to mission and vision and take your organization to the next level. Over the next 50 episodes, we'll be doing a lot of the same stuff. We'll be probably bringing in some more speakers, people that are a little bit outside my network that bring some different perspectives from what I know that should really be of benefit to all of you listeners. but we will have some monologues as well. I'll be getting into some various topics. In a month or so, we'll be having some executive lunch and learns. Expect to have some daily podcasts with a lot of influencers about how organizational alignment fits within their world and be able to get those perspectives that are trusted by a lot of people in social media. Lastly, I want to thank you for taking the time and the effort to listen to this podcast. It heartens me that I'm reaching so many people. Again, if you could, please share this with a friend, with a networking colleague. Post it on LinkedIn or other social media. Let people know what you think about the podcast and that you recommend that they take a listen and decide for themselves. I'd really appreciate that. So as I pretty much always say, we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Cheers.